So there are so many options for book covers. Like, how do you even know or start to get ideas for what to go on it? Well, today we're going to be talking about the all important research for your book cover. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm MK Williams. I'm an author and independent publisher. I love sharing my insights about all things self-publishing with you. Before I get into the details of today's video, be sure to hit subscribe. And you definitely want to do that this week. We're talking all about book covers. And every week I bring you new videos on self-publishing, making a career out of being an author, and now being a mompreneur. So this week, it's going to be all about getting you covered on covers. So this is a set of videos I'm doing to help answer all the questions you have about your book covers. Today, we're going to go over the very first step, which is research for your book cover. And real quick, before I dive into these tips, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Formatted Books for sponsoring this video and really this entire series. Formatted Books is an amazing service that offers indie authors like us the chance to have professionally formatted books for ebook and print, and they have great self-publishing prices. But they are now offering book covers too. That means they're going to be a great one-stop shop for getting your book done. I mean, done, and at a great price. For me, I used to love trying to make my own covers with mixed results, but their team knows books, and I'm a baby girl now, so I don't have the time to mess around, and I need it done right the first time. I bet you do too. Check out the link in the description below to get your book done with this amazing team. All right, book cover research is something you can really start at any time. I know some authors will start this as soon as they have an idea for the book. Others will wait till the manuscript is done. Really, you can start your research for the book cover whenever. The important thing is that it doesn't become a problem where you aren't getting the book written. I always have time dedicated to write my book, but if I sit down that day and the words just aren't coming, I can do some research instead. So here are some big themes around the research that you should be doing for your book cover. So first, you need to know what is on trend for your genre. I know a lot of you creative souls will cringe at the idea of following a trend, but this is about what your reader is looking for and knows to expect. Bodice ripper romance, you gotta have that Fabio or the lookalike on the cover, right? Contemporary romance, like color blocked illustrations. Like we all see these visual trends, right? So scroll through the bestsellers in your genre and get a visual taste for what's going on. Try to spot what color elements, images are in common, right? Get a feel for what's there. And then what I want you to do for step number 2 is to curate your taste on a Pinterest board. You can make this a private Pinterest board if you kind of want to build up to a big reveal. I actually only use Pinterest for book cover research. I don't use it for anything else, which is probably a good thing since I don't go down like a rabbit hole too far with it. I create private boards when I can see covers that I really like. So whether it's a theme or a font or a graphic or just all of it, I can kind of put that in there, and it helps me to keep everything all together. So if you end up working with a designer, a board like this is super helpful so they can get an idea for visually what you're looking for, and what you like and what you also don't like. So working with Formatted Books, they had a really great questionnaire where they asked for some of these things, but I was also able to give a bit more detail about hey, I like this, I don't like this. Here are some elements from the first book. Being able to provide as much as you can to help the designer get it right the first time helps. Okay, and then the third thing to keep in mind with doing your book cover research is that there's kind of 2 schools of thought here. You can make your cover a total surprise and nobody sees it before it launches and it's out there, or you can kind of test. So I've seen some authors do polls of their audience to find out which book cover, those followers like more. Others want to keep it a complete surprise. I like the surprise element personally, but to each their own. If you are going to do a poll, make sure you are polling your ideal book audience, not just other authors who may or may not be your audience. I see a lot of people in Facebook groups for indie authors oh, which cover do you like? I'm well, are the people in this group your ideal reader? If you're writing for authors, sure. But if you're writing for your audience likes contemporary romance, do you know if the people in that group even read that? Are they going to be the person who picks it up or buys it? That may not be the case. So keep that in mind when you're doing any polls. You want to go with your ideal audience for the poll. Okay, so those are some of my big tips on doing your book cover research. What other things do you do when you're researching your book covers? It doesn't have to be anything tedious or time consuming. And chances are that as you're doing research for your book in terms of reading other books in the genre, you'll get a feel for the covers that you like. That's what's being used, what's on trend, and you'll get a feel for, what your tastes are there. All right, I want to give another big thank you to Formatted Books for sponsoring this video and really this whole series. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video where we continue to get you covered on covers.